emergency stuff. I'm like, I can't even relate.
The microphone was right below your face.
Oh,
I'm like this.
Let me make sure this is set up right.
You can plug that in from the other side.
Yeah, well, I think it's been plugged in.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too.
Although it
Well, that's
drains.
it's not confirmed. He hasn't confirmed it, but that's what we think happened.
Something about that neighborhood.
Yeah, my uncle.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, we don't know.
right across the street.
Yeah. Exciting.
And your uncle.
But he didn't do it.
And my uncle,
He came over by the park.
How about that?
He drove his mower to the park.
That's what I thought.
Hmm?
Brian, 2 minutes.
4 or 5.
Brian, you was
Yeah. So, hang on to that, okay? Yeah. All right. I'll let you know. I'll call you. Okay. My sister had to do an update, so I don't know. Maybe mine did earlier today, so it should be another one. Sometimes when I get here, it's on the phone.
meeting. I'm gonna have to take it from there.
Is he on time?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dinner time. Get here. You've got 30 seconds. Ready at 6 o'clock, we're gonna start the finance meeting. Call to order, please, and roll call.
Reedy.
Present.
Osgray.
Present.
Philip.
Also in attendance, we have Mayor Rick Ellis, the fiscal officer Brian Fiddler. We've got Rick Foreman, council member, Debbie Schauffer, council member, Randy McCreary, council member, Brett Rogers, police chief. We have a couple of visitors, Brian Holbrook and, oh my God.
What's his name? What's his name? Ron Biddy?
I need approval of the minutes of the February 12th meeting, please.
I read the minutes. I moved the approved the minutes as written.
And I second those. Roll call.
Osgray.
Yep.
Reedy.
Yes. It's not in here, but do I have approval for the agenda tonight?
Oh, we don't do that in
No,
committees.
okay. We have two visitors. We have Mr. Holbrook and Mr. Bedbury. They want to speak during the finance. Our goals for 2024 is to keep spending within the 2024 appropriations, which we have not approved yet, and we need to do that tonight, just a reminder. Any old business? Mr. Phillips just arrived. All right, review of the monthly financials, bank reconciliation of February, please.
Okay. We end up with an overall balance of $2,318,371 last month. We had deposits, transfers of $1,000, which was $1,036, which was basically the credit card transactions for the utility bills. And then we have outstanding checks of $49,750. That's pretty much it for the reconciliation. And page 3 is the outstanding checklist. And really nothing glaring on the reconciliation itself. So moving on to the payment listing for February. Last month, we wrote $440,000 worth of checks. Looking to see if anything. We'll see a check there for Michael Tussey for $13,000. That was his severance payout. There's the $14,000 on page 3, $14,880. That was for the furnace at the pool, at the furnace and air conditioning units at the Johnson Park. We wrote our first check towards the Washington Street project. That was $108,000, which I got reimbursed for today by the county. So that's how we're doing this. We're using our resources, get reimbursed by the county, and then I'll pay it. Like we just got another pay request for another $100,000. I will write them a check and ask the county to reimburse us until they meet their commitment of $600,000. And then $32,000 to Merchants National Bank. That was the interest on the bonds. Other than that, I don't.
Does anybody have any questions or problems or? Okay.
Moving on to the metrics. Our Howard received $2,415 in interest last month. Rita's distribution last month was $92,668. And appropriation status says general fund 52, street 55, water 53, sewer operating 46. Since we're on a temporary budget, so 2/3, so we're under the limit. You got to gauge it that way when you're on a temporary budget. So, because your temporary budget runs through the end of March, you got 3 months. So, 2/3 of the month is 67%. So, and of course, the revenue status side for the general fund. We're pretty close to where we should be in a couple areas. Municipal income tax is down a little bit. Local government, not so much. I think it's supposed to be 16%, so that's relatively where it's supposed to be. We don't get any allotments on property tax or until this month. So, and contracts or police, that's just 3 payments from the village of Thurston, or 2 payments, I should say. I just submitted an invoice to the school, so that'll change too.
Any questions about the metrics? Comments?
And lastly, you have your appropriations there. So I guess you want to look at it, we roughly should be around 67%, unless until a permanent budget is approved. So
You said 67%.
7%, yeah.
any questions or problems with the appropriations report? No? Do we have to make an approval of the financial?
That's next.
Do I have a motion?
Cosgrave makes a motion. That we, reports.
A second? Roll call?
Cosgray,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Reedy.
Yes. Okay, the next item is to approve the 2024 budget. And motion to be back.
Well, I think it's just open for discussion, Mayor, sorry. We've,
Yes, however, we don't approve it, we have to send it to council.
yes, but, okay. Oh, yeah, you're right. I guess I open the floor for questions on the budget itself. If you have any questions.
I brought up in the last council meeting about trying to go ahead and budget some money, take some of the leftover revenue from this year. I put it in a fund to go ahead and order new cruisers so that we're getting ahead of the game on cruisers.
Yeah, can we do that
Instead
in
of
council
being
though?
behind game. I didn't know whether that should come out of finance, it'd be sent to council or wait till.
Well, if you want to do something like that, you have to create a reserve fund. Okay. You'd have to create a reserve fund. I'd have to research the High Revised Code as to the requirements on that. Basically what it would be is it'd be a separate fund itself. You would have to create the fund, and put money into it and to accumulate money into that fund. And you can keep it up. It's been a while since I've been an auditor, but I think it's you can keep it up to, you have 5 years to spend it.
Should we do that for next year's budget, or do you work it into this? To the budget this time, we need to approve that.
Okay, if you want to do something like that, we would probably have to, you'd probably have to move some money. You would, once it's established,
During the year?
during the year, we can appropriate money
Okay,
to do that.
okay.
So I guess the game plan would be to move forward with a budget that's already prepared, prove that, and then the council ask for legislation to create the account,
Well, to create a fund, it's an actual fund, yes.
and then
And if
what
you
money
get,
would go into that? Like, you would have to take it out of the general fund? and put it
Yes.
in there?
yes. You can establish, those are kind of reserve. I'd have to research it again. Like I said, it's been a while since I've dealt with these, but the council can create a reserve fund to put money into it. I think you can even do it in any fund, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
So maybe what we can do is go ahead and approve it and then have him present us at the next finance meeting or something. What he finds out about how to do it,
That'd be a capital projects fund more than likely.
and then we'll work on it. Next week.
Well, there's Brett and I talked, I mean, it's gonna take, if you order a police car, it's gonna take a little while, and there's two ways that you can pay for a police car, or we could even finance a police car too. I mean, if we, I don't know if we've ever done that before.
Yeah, the two of them that we just paid off when, Brian, like 3 months ago.
Oh no, that was a year ago.
Was it when we paid?
It was a year ago in October.
They were financed through people's money. Just these things on
I think we should do that, and then I think toward the end of the fiscal year, it would be easier to put, if we have like carryover or whatever, instead of carrying that over, put that into that fund. So we create the fund, and then when you have a clearer picture of how the finances kind of flush out, if we have enough carryover or projected carryover, we just take that and put it in that fund. And then the next year, establish it, and then we can, however the budget.
So does that mean that we can?
Well, and like I said, I'll research it and get back with you. It's just a matter of going to the Auditor State's website and pull down the Ohio compliance supplement. It's what the state auditors use to test compliance with requirements with state law. And there's a section in there that talks about reserve balance accounts and that kind of stuff, reserve funds. So let me research it for you.
Okay.
Because it used to be done that way. Back, of course, this is going back to 03 now, but when a car was 25 grand, and they would do like 12.5 1 year, and then 12.5 the next, and then buy the car. And then the next year they'd kind of put 12.5 in an account or however it says.
Yeah.
And then the next year they'd have the 25 grand to get to do it. So that's kind of
Updated to today's money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gonna be 25 in the year.
right, right, right.
right. Yes.
It's kind of like we did the windows, you know, we did like, whatever.
Does that include the equipment?
We believe so. We don't have exact figures because this came up kind of quick to get exact figures, but between what the mayor found out through the dealership that does state.
Not my dealership.
Yeah, not found out through the state bid dealership that how much they cost, and it's about 40-ish, and
Then
you should figure about 10 to be safe, just because we don't know what pricing on stuff will be. Then we generally try to move stuff off the oldest car and recycle what we can use. The bad part about some of that stuff is like a lot of the interior stuff now, they change the body inside, so it doesn't work. So you use it for several years and then all of a sudden it's obsolete. But a lot of the outside lights and stuff like that, we can reuse as much as we
those cars, when we order them that way, they come for a police department. Really, it sounds like the only things that are missing are the cages and the lights, like the seats pushed back. I mean, they set them up to where it's, what's that?
The computer's already.
We would
That's what
reuse
you're talking
it.
about, the computer's
We would
switching
have to
the,
use
those
it.
electric.
No,
Yeah, we would reuse computers
Yes.
and some of the lights, like a lot of times the light bars, we can rehash those and use those on the new cars and things like that. The only things that don't fit a lot of times are like the actual console that the radios and stuff fit in because they change the interior configurations. And then the dividers behind the seats, because obviously they change how they work. So like I said, we've always tried to use as many lights as we could to recycle them.
How many miles per year, bro? You think?
I can't say because I haven't tracked it until now. I can say that depending on the car, we're anywhere from, 1,000 or 1,200 miles a month to down usually. So about 13, 14,000 a year, I would say. We'll know better as the year progresses, but so far this year, it's about 1,000-ish miles a month.
All right. Ready, boys?
So anyway,
Motion to approve the 2024 budget. No, send it to council.
I just want to, I sent you a revision, on Friday. The only change I made from the previous one was we had an employee that got married and is now on his spouse's plan. So I had to do some shuffling there, increasing since he gets a benefit of 50% of what it will cost us. I had to boost the wages a little bit, but of course you should have seen the decrease then in the benefits. So overall, the sewer fund went down a few thousand. So.
I will make a motion that we send this letter to council.
I have a second to send to the, and I have a roll call.
Cosgray,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
and Reedy.
Yes. Is there anything else for the finance committee?
Well, like I said, I'll look into the reserve fund and let you guys know. Okay.
Gotcha. Great. Our next meeting is scheduled for the second Monday in April, which is April 8th at 6 o'clock.
Schaffner,
Yes.
Foreman,
Present.
and McCreary.
Present.
We have also in attendance. We also have attendance Brian Bidler, Brett Rogers, Mayor Ellis, Darla Reedy, Wade Cosgrave, and we have visitors, Brian Holbrook, Mr. Bidler, anybody want to speak here? All right. Let's see, 2024 goals finalized VA job description, that's been tabled. Village Alleys is tabled.
We need approval of minutes. And
I think at this point, business needs to be tabled.
We approved minutes.
I'm sorry, what?
We need to approve last minutes.
Oh, I'm
before we
sorry.
move on. Foreman makes a motion, we approve the rules committee meeting minutes as written.
I cannot, I wasn't.
Okay, I'll shut in a second.
Foreman and Schaffner, you're both yays?
Yes.
Yes.
Business, home businesses, I think we can table that. Circumstances right now. Ordinance 2404. This is an ordinance regarding what we talked about last meeting, to allow immediate family members.
Foreman makes a motion, we send this to council.
McCreary second. Roll call.
You're sponsoring too.
Yeah.
Okay. Foreman,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes.
Schaffner.
I kind of skipped over old business. Does anybody have any other old business to ask me or any new business? That's it. More? Motion to adjourn.
What's the old business, not new business?
That was the one where I was trying to locate a policy about home businesses registering with the
Which they do need to, subcontractors, home businesses don't need to register, so we can read it away. Now, is it complied with? That's a difficult thing.
Is there, but then we have a
Police.
I was gonna say, I have an info.
I'm gonna say this, I have a concern about, what did you say?
It's difficult to police the home-based business
Yes.
thing, so is there an order, is there a policy in place? Yes, is it heavily policed or?
Where's the, so can we find the policy? Does anybody know, my concern, and this is just a widespread concern, is that nobody's, like, we seemingly have policies, but nobody knows where to find them. And whether or not we have policies on certain things. For example, the alleys, it was like, everybody says, yes, we have one, and nobody seems to have one, but it seems to know where it is. So,
Well, that's something we need to figure out.
yeah, we do.
That's what I think Jeff, our solicitor, I believe that sometimes he'll look at the document outside, they're in our
Yeah,
record.
it's a pretty big
They're in our records.
document to know off the top of your head, so absent all of us sitting there learning it from them. How we off the top of our head. There's stuff in there.
So I guess what we need to do is find out for sure whether or not there is a policy in that book.
And then we'll
And if so,
check
if
issues.
we want to develop one, right?
So,
If so, or if not, they'll
is that a homework assignment for
for somebody.
Mr. Faker or Mr. Booker?
Okay, so that's all we have, really. So did I get a motion to adjourn?
I didn't get to it yet before we make a motion to adjourn.
McCreary seconds.
All in favor, say aye. We adjourned 6:21 p.m.
We don't mess around.
5 minutes, right?
All right, I'm gonna stop the video.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the same, that's stuff in there. That could be helpful to
Now, you get, since they just replaced, they're gonna help us match property rents. That's not the
Any box, it could be quarterback.
And we're not really starting with trees anymore. Already paid. So it's not something that's new again. Because living's already out.
And you got like extras from the corrugated that.
So,
It's more likely that there's other byproducts in it other than.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're not starting with.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah,
gonna.
and if you get rice, I know.
They say farm products are dissolved.
We're just gonna
I'm just thinking that some of that stuff might be done.
no, not right now. Cosgray,
Present.
Foreman,
Present.
McCreary,
Present.
Phillips,
Here.
Reedy,
Here.
Schaffner.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion, to go into executive session. We're just gonna step in my office counsel and myself, for about 5 minutes to take care of a personnel issue. And then we'll come back and we'll further the meeting.
Can you make a motion?
No, he can't make.
He's asking council. Yeah, I was gonna make that.
As far as executive session, it's to do with me, I have no problem with, with me. I like the way the executive session.
Yeah, I don't have it. Before we make a motion, the council go into executive session in the mayor's office.
Yep.
Can we get a second?
I said,
Need a roll call. Roll call.
Foreman,
Yes.
Reedy,
yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Cosgray,
Yes.
Schaffner,
Yes.
McCreary,
No.
5-1,
Yeah, passes.
passes.
Who all do you want?
I should say,
Council and Victor.
Yep.
And chief or not?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. It's gonna fall.
Of course I did.
Or you should.
So you may. No, it doesn't. It's you. That's right.
Empty about it. And then, back, I think it's in the three.
Money guy, right? You're the money guy.
Mhm.
Because I just stay close to
So-
the money guy.
So what grant did you get?
This is, an ODNR Inflation Reduction Act grant. Federal money.
Inflation reduction.
Still federal money coming down.
Okay.
And 40, well, it's 40 plus the 5 we would kick in for our usual. And there's no match required, which is why we went for more. Normally, if you may remember, we go for like 5,000
Right.
because there's a match.
Because
and, you know,
we did one last year that got turned down.
yes.
Because I just had to,
Steve was the tip of the spear on this. He's going to need to.
Yeah. I know, I've already got the funds. Is it the same name as the other one, just bigger, or is it?
It's not the same thing, no, because we have not gotten an Inflation Reduction Act grant before.
The title name, but okay.
But yeah, they're all the same ODNR people administering them, and they're all similar in their intent. This one's a little more complicated, with more steps. But I'm gonna presume we'll take the lead.
Well, we'll have to probably pass a resolution creating the fund and all that stuff and authorizing the grant.
Yes, whatever your normal financial procedures would be for this kind of a grant. we would want. But we tried to keep it simple by just making it all contractor expenses. So you'll have invoices, you don't have to track staff salaries and benefits and all that for the percentage of time they spend on the project. You could if you wanted, but it's not gonna get us any more money out of the deal.
No. Whoever you go with on like contractor wise, just make sure that you check the federal government database to make sure that contractor who you go with hasn't been suspended or debarred from participating in federal programs.
We'll definitely be getting back to you.
On that
before-
part?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't sign contracts or anything.
Okay.
So we can get you some quotes and some potential bidders, and then you'll have to tell us how the village procurement process works.
Just one contract.
No, there'll be a few because of the different
That's fair.
steps involved in this. But it's important that we don't screw up procedurally because then we don't get the money.
Right.
So I expect it, and that would not be fun.
No, because then we have to repay it and then,
We have to work it. So I don't know.
I mean, I'll be watching dishes.
Yeah.
Is that got a date when they're gonna start it?
Well, the official grant period starts tomorrow. On the orientation call.
you got what I think, you're right?
Yes,
Okay.
and I forwarded that to them and they confirmed it was received.
Okay.
So we're actually ahead of most people.
Do you have somebody in mind to do the survey?
There were 2 companies I contacted initially, one of whom I think has great potential if they're still willing, and the other, Davey.
Yes, sir.
High in the sky, thing that would be way more expensive than more than.
Get out the windows.
Only, but, we're waiting.
So they get made.
And, who knows? I have no idea if there's a seasonal ebb and flow to the production cycle or what.
Wrap it up a little bit. Weather starts getting better.
But I mean, the issues
It's like a year ago.
and the windows, honestly,
It must be that.
there's only a void in the wall. So they probably.
Now we're off the track.
Now we're.
Okay, because
It's on the windows now.
we're doing windows for the tree grant.
Hey, by the way, I've been assured the budget's gonna get approved. So
Oh, okay.
what do we need for
So we haven't signed anything with.
No, because I've been waiting on the
Okay.
budget, so that
Okay.
might need to be done next.
Yes, yeah, we just need to sign that contract with them so they can start fabrication. And then, once that's done,
Eventually,
I
yes.
can take it from there. They'll just contact us and say, okay, we're ready, and I'll make sure the schedule's clear upstairs. And
There's another one this year.
I'll be there and keep an eye on things. But it was real smooth
Yes,
last
they,
time.
they know what they're doing. Steve Kim did all the work on that. So, council approved 25,000 for 3 years for the BRC. Or for the, opera house.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's moving along pretty
About
well.
40 windows.
So which ones have been replaced?
The ones in the theater where we are trying to keep.
Oh, okay, okay. That probably helps a lot.
The next phase will start to cover like the front of the building and
Yeah.
some of the places that don't have the equipment. Honestly, you can feel the wind in your hair standing in front of some of those old
Well,
windows.
how old are they? You know,
Probably 1905. A lot of them have wavy glass in them, so they're old.
but they last. Too bad they don't
Yeah.
last long.
Like those are cool.
What?
The glass when it starts to
It is cool.
slide like that.
But
It's a-
it's slim to the point. There's an 8-inch gap between
Oh,
the
that's not good.
glass and the frame.
It's a lot cooler to look at than it is to have to live with.
It is.
Yes.
And I feel bad just trashing them, but I asked around and there's really no market for them. It's very hard to work with,
Right.
very hard to resize.
Just the whole idea of glasses. It's a liquid.
Yeah, very viscous.
The house we were in. Between North and Liberty Street. Over on Liberty Street had, that wavy glass. It's beautiful for a little bit. But then after a while, you just kind of wish you could look out the window and see what you could.
Instead of
Instead of,
distorted.
Yeah.
Impressionist thinking of what
Yeah,
goes
it
on in your
is.
house.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Inspirational for artists.
no, I didn't have any of those. Just.
I was talking to the Rosati rep about this and I asked him, okay, these are 120 years old. If we took the glass out and flipped it, would it settle the other way and would they become clear again? And he didn't know. He doesn't know anybody who's ever been around that trade.
He's not really the historical glass expert. You should get one and take it home and try it. Yeah, tell us in 120 years if it
I
goes
should
the
have
other way.
thought of this experiment about 60 years ago.
Hey, oh, I got to meet the canine guy.
Yeah, Matt May.
Yeah.
Tall man with the cat.
And the dog.
The detail.
The dog was very nice. I mean, he was nice too, but I mean,
Were you feeding him bacon? Was it with the
I did not
cafe?
feed him bacon. And he was in the, house cafe.
When you feed the police dog, we call that a bribe.
Okay, well,
Uh-oh.
I told Maria I wouldn't tell anybody that dog was in there shedding all over the floor. She said, please don't. Please don't call the health department.
They're great, partners. They
Yeah.
do a great service that they do.
He said, he can't run very fast. He's kind of a big guy. He says, the dog can run really fast.
That's a standard line, because several people
Yeah,
told
told
me
me
he
that,
said
yeah.
that.
Can't catch both dog can.
Yeah.
There's no way, my grandparents always had shepherds and they were guard dogs for the farm, but always very nice to us.
Oh, yeah.
But nobody ever got out of their car if they weren't us.
Yeah.
If they weren't
No, they're
dogs.
bird dogs, definitely.
And, I wouldn't want one of those coming after me.
Yeah.
If I was doing something wrong, I wouldn't.
They're back instinct.
Kids.
Don't come back in executive session, that's. It's up to you, we're learning that. There are some of us who want to allow the.
Yeah, I don't know what the issues are, so that'd be nice stuff to respond.
Well, so we can do that in a second. Probably could do it in council, but if you want to do it, separate, so.
I think we do.
Let me see what they say about that.
Okay, if they refuse to do that, then y'all come back.
Okay.
So I'd like to do an open council. It's been a pleasure. I'll eat some old man Bibbler that.
Ronnie just showed me some old
Papers.
stuff when I was working this town.
Was that right?
I did it all by hand.
Yeah.
Everything by hand.
I wouldn't want to do that by hand now.
Everything.
Oh,
Even the budget, come out here and report the amounts in each one of the, had to have a lot in writing. Showed every bill, showed every, yep. covered that. I had a book about this long.
Yeah, that was your,
All the-
that was your cash book.
You got that down there?
I haven't found that yet, but I found some old ordinances we were missing, and your name's on the resolutions and ordinances. We scanned them, so we have them.
Yeah.
We scanned them, so we have a record of them. Because we're still looking for a bunch more.
Take up a lot of room. If I went to bowling alley, I might still be there. I enjoyed it. I like it.
Something about public services there.
Yeah, I was pretty cool. I wasn't very old, man. I was,
There's even something more special about
28.
volunteers.
I think I was about 28.
apparently there's something special about bowling too.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that too.
Yeah.
My son turned out to be a really good bowler too because of that.
You're welcome to come back. I was supposed to have to better. Because I don't think they will entertain you as much.
I don't need to be entertained, I just need to have some. Thank you.
You're not even, I was talking to him, I was asking him all these questions, what we want to do this, what we want to do that, and he goes, I don't know, Ron, they just fired me this morning, I didn't even know it.
It was.
He was the president of Rotary out there about 10, 12 years ago, when we had our Rotary going. He was president. This year.
Because you know how I got to be chairman of the tree commission?
Oh, you're the chairman?
Yeah.
I didn't. I don't know.
Well, let me explain. how it
Okay.
happened.
Trees.
Let me explain how it happened. I left a meeting early one time because I had to be somewhere and they voted me in. And then it's been more than a year and it's supposed to
You
change.
know how I got to be chair? Because I didn't show up to a meeting one time.
No, it wasn't because that's our
It
motivation
was
for
because I
attending.
didn't show up.
We don't want to be the chair. Chairwoman, sorry.
Chairperson.
Well, could you someone send me a roster of the commission
Yes.
and who the chair and whoever?
I'm not supposed to be the chair.
Well,
anymore.
here's the thing.
She was the chair.
It's been
I
a
think,
year.
I think this is on the agenda for Thursday.
Well, I'm
I
not missing
was
that one.
thinking we had bylaws that talked about that, but I can't find that we have any bylaws.
Conveniently
It's
lost.
whatever we want to do. I think Mr. Gilbert probably filed those somewhere.
Yeah.
Hey, you know anything about this? Are we gonna get a little thingy to put on there this year? Do we get a little thingy to put on for this year?
We'll get one.
We'll get one.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Our awards program is in May this year, so we'll get it then.
Is there a certain number or?
No, it's,
Their budget is $10,000 every year.
but that's not all for tree planting.
No.
That includes the.
That includes maintenance of trees too.
That was purchase, that's not.
Because you pick out a couple of big trees and you're way up there.
It's for tree maintenance too.
That's always what my one. It's one after the other. Fortunately, as in some small villages, we didn't have every single street tree wasn't an ash tree. And some villages had that and lost.
Yeah.
Imagine the expense on that. And they were old, big ones. Of course, now Pickerington, I watch them plant trees, they plant them all, and then they do something, they cut them all down.
Well, I mean, they have to rebuild 256.
Yeah, they have to,
10 years,
every 10
so-
years, they have to, so. And the
And
trees.
it's still terrible.
Yeah. And Lancaster does, downtown, they did that for a long time, they let those trees grow and then they cut them down. It got too big, I guess, or something.
Well, downtown Lancaster, the first they redid is a very interesting study in species selection because the ones they chose wisely are thriving.
Yeah.
But the ones that they should never have planted in those little tree pits are long gone.
Yeah.
Not everything will grow in those things.
What's the best kind of tree, Linda?
For what?
The right tree for the right place. That's
Oh, yes, that's
the
absolutely
right
right.
tree in the right place.
And not all the same. You're doing a bunch of them, you don't plant all the same, but something's gonna kill them eventually. What we got coming? What's coming?
The newest thing I know of is a box elder bug. I'm not box elder, boxwood, and I don't like boxwood, so I don't really care about that.
Yeah, but if they eat them all, then they'll go to something else.
Not necessarily.
Um,
But the lantern
where-
fly is moving in.
where,
here now.
where are all the pine trees that are getting that, whatever they get?
Well,
Southwest.
there's a lot of stuff. The biggest concerns around here were
No, not around here. I meant the ones that are just taken out of forest.
like the beetles that are,
Yeah.
I don't know just where all that is.
For some places, you
But
look for
it's
miles
large
and
areas.
all you see
Yeah,
is
it's
dead
large
pine trees.
areas, you know,
And of course, then they're tinder. Big tinder for big fires.
But that's not an introduced pest, that's a native pest, and just
Yeah.
because of climate change, things are
Changing.
stressing the trees and the beetles are now killing them.
Well, this summer isn't gonna be good for bugs because it hasn't been cold for a long period.
It may never be again.
Yeah.
People always talk about setting posts and things below the frost line, it's 28 inches. So you're dreaming if you think it's gonna freeze.
I don't think we've got a hard freeze issue.
Not enough.
We had for like, what, 1 week?
Yeah, but it wasn't,
No.
it wasn't,
Down about that far.
No, I
it was
don't,
like 20
I don't think
degrees
the
or
ground
something.
will ever freeze more than a foot deep around here ever again. I'm not saying to bury your post 6 inches deep, that's stupid, but 2 feet is probably plenty.
1, 2.
That didn't sound good.
So Brian, is that lot down from you sold and that's the builder's sign up?
I don't know. I've seen for sales
Yeah,
and
that's-
signs go up
I
4
just wondered.
times.
Yeah, I just wondered.
And someone's got to pull a put.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if a builder.
I don't think one's come
bought the
across.
lot there, or if somebody bought it and then they're using that builder and he's got a sign up. That's
We
all.
must have a sign up, but I don't
Yeah, you.
I do not recall I,
Well, they better be, I mean.
Well, it has to be, I know one thing, it has to be at least 1,000 square feet. That's a town.
well, that's a village. That's a, that's a town. Yeah. Yeah.
Remember that house that was built over there on Cliff Street? That little house, you know what I'm talking about? Right up there.
Yes, I think.
Well, they built that and then they found out that when they
Well, that little
When they
log
give them
cabin
the,
isn't
when
big
they give
enough.
them the building permit, they didn't check the square footage, it wasn't big enough.
Well, is that log cabin big enough?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, but
They
I
weren't
thought
big
you were
enough, so
going.
they
had
had
to
to
go
go
back
back
and-
room on back of it to make 1,000 square feet. Yeah.
And now, like I
I
said,
know the properties out there that we've all bought, I know there's restrictions on them, but sometimes I don't think the people that sold those lots make sure that the restrictions. It's just like all those fences we got. Well, I couldn't have any fences in those properties,
Where?
the whole road. Oh. Including the fences.
Yeah.
But there is,
Yes, there is. More than there used to be too.
and my figure is a square footage On the side of the home too.
Oh, a deed restriction on,
I think,
well, I don't think any of them.
whether that one there. I don't know.
That property is sold 4 times.
Oh, has it? And then it fell through or they sold again,
No, they buy it
and then they sell.
and then they see it flood and they sell
Well,
it.
well, you should look into that ahead of time. Any of us could have told them that, you know.
Well, you had another flood this week.
Yeah, it's in my backyard again. We're waiting for it to get fixed.
Behind our back there.
Well, if they get that water line in there, down through there behind Ted's house, down through there.
That should help, but that they need to unplug that drain.
Whose plan is that? To put the one in?
City, town. Yeah. Right.
Well, I got. Start video. Oh. And. Okay, so we return at 7:24. Okay. All right. We're at the approval of the minutes. That's where we left off.
I would like to make a motion that the council support the mayor's decision to terminate Brian Holbrook's employment.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Now we want to vote.
Discussion.
Well-
Have discussion. Sorry.
Can I go
I,
first?
He can reflect in the minutes.
I made an announcement, we come out 7:24.
Okay, so, Mayor. None of what I'm gonna say is surprise to you. We've already had a discussion prior to these, and you know my feelings about this. First of all, this was something that threw some people, not everybody, but some people for a loop because we didn't know it was in the process. I would suggest that if there is an employee problem in the future, that the entire council knows about it and discusses it here before something like this happens again. I also want to suggest that there should be no more council meetings in anybody's basement, in any retail stores, or at the water plant. I know that there are people who are talking, I know it from coming into the council and sitting here and having people in front of me. And when I say what's going on, they say, I don't know if we should tell you. And then it comes up at council. So I'm not clear on the hierarchy here as to why not all council members are informed about everything that's going on. And the other thing that I just want to say, one of the reasons, am I allowed to say, one of the reasons that I was told that this is happening is because of another employee who is so angry and we're so afraid that he's going to quit.
I didn't tell you that.
That was actually one of the first things that he said, that they don't get along.
I didn't say that's why I was doing this. I said that had nothing to do with this, that I had actual things, and that's what I went through.
Okay, because I just want to say about that, this employee, and I think everybody knows who we're talking about, is almost as old as I am. He's not that far behind me. He's not going to be here forever, and everybody's worried about what he knows and why he can't, what if he quits, he can't pass on. And no business or government should be run that way. There should be nobody that has so much knowledge that it's all going to transpire around that employee. I loved him. I mean, God knows he came over to my house and helped me out considerably, and that has nothing to do with that. It's just that there should be cross-training. Everybody should know. If somebody just drops dead tomorrow, you know, I mean, I hate to say it, what if he dropped dead tomorrow? What would we do about it?
We'd be in a world of hurt. But I didn't say to you, this is why I'm doing this. I just said that I gave you a list of reasons why. And I gave everybody a list of reasons why. I'm not gonna fire somebody off of another person's word anyways.
Okay.
I have to have my own things. And we just went over what those things were. And I told you where I'm at on it. I appreciate what you're saying, and I from this point on, we'll take it. There won't be, everything will be public. And I don't feel like there was anything, I don't feel like I did anything wrong. I let everybody know, with the exception of Wade, who I didn't call, and I took care of that today. I called all of you before we did this. So, and explain why. Anybody else?
Well, and one of the things that was left off of your list that to me was troubling was you asked that no one be hired until you were sworn in,
Yes.
and that wasn't on the list.
I wasn't bringing that up because I just figured that somebody would say
That was like immediately, that's just a horrible way to start off the relationship between the mayor and the village administrator who have to have,
But I have to say, I was the mayor at that point.
I understand.
And I told Mr. Holbrook, you have to do what you feel is necessary.
And the council had approved it. Right.
Correct.
Back in 2022.
Correct. I don't disagree with any of that, but then when the new incoming mayor asks that you respect his wishes and not move on it just yet, because he's going to be sworn in a week, I think it's just a courtesy thing. It's not definitely well within his rights. Don't get me wrong. Definitely well within his rights. Not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying that's not a good way to start off a relationship with your new boss. And that's what the relationship is. So, and this talk about meetings that other people aren't included in, I have to say that I have to count myself among those people that weren't included. I don't know where these rumors are coming from, but I've never had a conversation with more than one person that's on council or the mayor at the hardware that I can recall, or at a retail store, as mentioned, or at a water plant, or at anyone's basement after they became seated members of council. I can't say that it didn't happen prior. It did, but not after, because it's a violation.
You're exactly right. And it may not be with more than one person, and it may be absolutely legal, but it's, in my opinion, it's inappropriate.
What about meetings that happened at the Pine House from the former administration? After council?
I don't know anything about
There's plenty of
If we're gonna get it out in the air,
Well,
let's get it out in the
I
air.
don't know, because I don't seem to know anything. That,
No,
I am one, oh, well, no, that's not true. That is just not true.
I know, but I mean, that's why I'm always asking for minutes. From every meeting, we've got to have minutes so that the council knows what's going on.
Well, I am just gonna reiterate that there are several people who know a lot more about what's going on than some other
Well, I
people.
can guarantee you from this point on, that won't be the case.
And I have some things to say too.
Okay.
So just in listening to this, there are a couple things I've made some notes on. So I feel like somehow this went from 0 to 100 very quickly without notification prior. I find that unacceptable. If these were issues grand enough to result in a job being lost or someone being fired or someone being asked to resign, then those issues should have been brought to council before now. I feel very strongly about that. So, and in terms of some of the things, in talking about the administrative assistant being hired, according to my notes, that was back in 2022. Council approved funds in the budget for that position specifically. And the position was to be such that the person in that position was to have skills, a skill set that would complement the VA. That was exactly how it was approached. We want to make sure whoever is in there is going to work well and kind of be a complement to the skill set that they're bringing. So that's specifically how it was. And I have notes and I want to say it, that's fine.
But that's specifically how it was written, and it was a position that the VA was supposed to kind of handpick who it was, especially focusing on the skill sets that the VA, whoever it was going to bring to the table. We went a long time without the VA. So I can't even imagine the mess that whoever was going to walk into what they walked into when they came into that position. So I'm just saying from here forward, I really would like to be notified and made aware of situations publicly. If we need to go into executive session, fine. But I want to make sure that everybody's open. I don't want any of this backdoor stuff.
Can I say just one more thing? I'm sorry, I just forgot one thing. The other thing I'd just like to say is that in my vote tonight, my vote reflects the fact that I really don't, and I've said this to you, Mayor, that I don't know if you did the right thing, because we never really got to sit down and have a really good response from Brian. So, you know, you can, and there's no judge. I told you there's no judgment. It's just a matter of, I don't know that you did the right thing. You may be doing the right thing. I don't know. I don't know. And that's the problem. And I think that's the uneasiness that we have because we don't know.
Here, and I guess what I say to that is the majority of all this falls on my shoulders. So let it fall. And I'm willing to do that. Anybody else?
Motion and a second.
You made the motion.
I made a motion and had a
So
second.
now it's,
Not to vote.
Roll call.
Foreman,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Cosgray,
no.
McCreary,
No,
Schaffner,
No.
Reedy,
Yes.
that's, I got 3-3. Jeff,
That's what I want to do. Mine would be, yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. So, I guess I would start to say I apologize to the visitors. It wasn't my plan to have anybody have to hear all this, but it's public knowledge and I'm good with it. So if there's somebody that would like to speak.
Well, we should backpedal to approval of minutes and approval of the agenda and then go into.
Okay, I got you.
So,
Foreman makes a motion, we approve the minutes as written from February 26, 2024.
I second it. Roll call.
any discussion? No discussion, okay. That's okay. Okay, Foreman?
Yes.
Phillips?
Yes.
Schaffner? Schaffner?
Yes.
Cosgray?
Yes.
McCreary?
yes.
Reedy?
Yes.
Was you at the last meeting? Did you,
You were here.
you weren't here, you want to abstain? You want to change your vote? 26?
There's 2 meetings.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got confused.
Foreman makes a motion, we approve the agenda as written.
Second. Roll call.
Foreman?
Yes.
Phillips?
Yes.
Schaffner?
Yes.
Reedy?
Yes.
McCreary?
Yes.
Cosgray?
Okay. So with that,
Visitors.
now we're gonna go. You'd like to talk first?
Well.
Well, Brooke, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Time here. Thought we were doing some pretty good things. Moving in the right direction. I'm still kind of confused about a few things. any of the things that were brought up tonight or today seem like things that we deal with every day. I know Mayor Reedy and I did several times, and a lot of the department heads and I were able to work through those, get those things righted, if you will, if they weren't the way that the mayor would like them to be, or council. I'm concerned. There's some projects that have been started. Some of these projects, I don't know if there's anyone that can step up and take care of those projects. They're not just the development, but there's some things that are going on in the village that there's some good things going on. So I hope that whoever gets into that filing cabinet in there gets to work on those real quick and doesn't let any of that slip away from us. There's some grant opportunities, and those need to be followed through. Again, I didn't see this coming. I never received any counseling. I never received any notice of deficient performance. I never had a clue that anyone was dissatisfied. I offended you, Mary? Attention. I thought we had a good relationship. You as much as said so just last week. And the other thing I'm a little confused about, did you request I turn in my badge? Okay. Okay. It was always a pleasure working with you. I think you know that. We had a conversation a couple weeks ago about how it's nice to have somebody who worked at the PD still here. So, thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Mr. Bibb. Okay. Steve.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of council. I'm Steve Campbell. I'm here with Linda Young and Amy DeFriscia. We are for the Baltimore Tree Commission. And I am here tonight just to let you know, I feel a little awkward trying to give you good news at this point in the meeting, but to let you know that a grant application we turned in last fall has been approved. And this is a very exciting one for those of us on the Tree Commission. This is a Ohio Department of Natural Resources Inflation Reduction Act grant. It's federal money that the state is passing through to communities. Council approved a resolution under Mayor Reedy last fall for this. And one of the reasons we're excited about it is that this is a very rare grant and that no match is required because Baltimore is considered disadvantaged under the federal guidelines that apply. So I just wanted to let you know that we will be working with the staff or help us to work with at this point to make sure the paperwork gets done to initiate this. And then we will be the commission will be doing a lot of the technical stuff, but we of course will be relying on the staff to handle all the legal paperwork and contracts and that kind of thing. There are really 4 phases to this grant. One is public outreach, and that is an important component of it. So we will be looking for any input you want to offer on how we should reach out to the community, and whether it can be a challenge at times. But we want to get their input before we prioritize the rest of the phases. The second phase will be a tree inventory. This is something communities have. It's just basically a database where a professional arborist evaluates public property. We're not looking at private property. And then the next phase will be risk mitigation, which basically is a fancy way of saying pruning the dangerous stuff and removing the stuff that can't be fixed to make things safer. And then the final phase will be planting. So that'll be spaced out over the coming months, and we have until the end of June next year to complete this work. So I would expect it'll be kind of a spring, summer outreach, a summer inventory, a fall, winter pruning and removal cycle, and then a spring 2025 planting. We have a total of $40,000 money, so it should accomplish a fair bit in a town this size. And so we are grateful for your support of the application and very happy that it has gone through. Only about half the applicants were approved. And Dixie Russell and I, also of the commission, attended the orientation session today to learn more about it. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to try to respond. Otherwise, you'll be hearing more about this as we proceed.
Well, the tree commission again sometime soon.
The commission, yes, the tree commission will actually be meeting this Thursday at 5:30 in this very room. We meet the second Thursday of every month at 5:30 p.m. And we will be talking about this grant on Thursday, among other things.
Speaking of minutes, could you send me your minutes? We have a tree commission folder that on our share folder that I throw those in, and
Okay, sure.
that way I can pass them out too.
Did you take minutes for reading? I recall Mayor Reedy asking for those a few times. Send them to you.
Send them to me so I can pass it out to them for one, and then I also dump it in your tree commission folder that we have on.
Okay, great.
Congratulations. And thank you for your
That's
effort.
awesome.
The village will definitely reap the
We
benefits.
appreciate it, that's for sure.
It's going to be a game changer in terms of green space and canopy in the village.
Will you pick all the, like, what kind of trees and all that stuff out, I assume?
When we get to the planting phase, yes. Yeah, and part of the goal of this grant is to provide canopy to reduce the urban heat island in the village, to reduce stormwater peak runoff rates in the village, and to provide other benefits. And species diversity is an important part of that. We don't want to, be one of those communities that's all silver maples. Right.
If you run out of public land, I know.
I need a tree. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else? Ms. Young, Mr. Frusha? Would you like to speak? Nope, we're good. Okay. All right, so we're moving on to village administration reports. I did have a question for, I was contacted by Mr. Lannis and asked me if we had an ordinance for a store of, I guess for lack of a better term, if we had an ordinance against having a marijuana store in this town. And I said I did not know the answer to that
The
question.
village approved several moratoriums on that, but those have expired. And to my knowledge, nobody else has reached out to the village asking to file any application for that. So I don't recall us having an ordinance that bans it outright. So
I couldn't either, but now that you say moratoriums, that rings a bell.
there were several moratoriums, but I don't remember preparing any ordinance that banned it out. I'll double check that. But I don't recall that.
I guess my question to everyone else is that something that we want? I'm just asking.
It's kind of a weird place for, I mean, I'm thinking this is kind of a weird place for.
Yeah.
If you would think.
Well, the person that's asking who knows if it'll really happen, but I'm just saying it's, if you did it, you can inquire about it, so
He has roots in the industry, so
Yes.
there's a possibility that he can like come in
It is not,
unintended pun, yeah, intended pun.
it's not like having a, I should say that, if there's nothing wrong with having it in the town.
Now, there's several different aspects of that, and municipalities can opt out of that. But you can have manufacturing, you can have distribution, you can have sales, you can opt out of all of it. You can opt out of just certain aspects of it. So,
if it goes any further, I guess we're further to talk about it. I don't think we want cultivation, and I guess the storefront would be one of the only things.
absent, absent an ordinance, is it automatically?
They would have to apply, and go through the steps to do that, and it's gonna come back to council, so, yeah, so it's not, it wouldn't automatically be approved, yeah. That's my recollection on how that's.
You say apply, you just need an occupancy permit, or you need a permit for that specific?
I believe it's a permit for that, I don't think it's just an occupancy permit.
It is during the Lancaster. I think there's an ordinance in Lancaster, they can't have a store in Lancaster, it can be outside the city limits. What their ordinance is. Okay. Really, in the circumstances, that's all I really have. Administration report is in front of you about the parks and pools. Have that, some of that. Will say that I know that we have collected all the money from the from all the sporting athletic groups. All the money's been collected. We're waiting on a couple of we're waiting on one contract and two insurance forms from them. Did speak to the lady at the Farmhouse Cafe today. We're getting something together for her. And I'm supposed to talk to her tomorrow. Brian, you're taking care of, it says here, the the training for the lifeguards.
Yeah, I've already got that set up. Just waiting on, I guess, lifeguard applications. We've gotten 3 so far.
That's something we need to advertise more, you think?
Well, I didn't last year, okay, because we had enough. And year before last, yeah, I can have Kelly put something out. I advertised at the school out here, in the newspaper, and I didn't get them till that. It's a hit or miss with kids.
I got you. Yeah, I'm sure that's true. So it looks the Porter Road drainage project's ready to move forward, obviously. For the easements,